Hello dear students, so here I am again with your chapter number 6 introducing Python part 2. Let us see what all learning objectives we are going to see in this chapter. So the first thing that you are going to learn is Python programming in interactive mode. We are going to learn more in detail about interactive mode. Next we'll learn about use of interpreter. I hope your students are already aware of what is interpreter, but we are going to revise it again. Using print function, how we can use print function in Python. Using IDLE as a calculator. The integrated development learning environment which is there in Python, how we can use that IDLE as a calculator. We are going to learn about that. And we are going to learn about variables in Python, the assignment operator, and the rules to write the variable names. Let us begin with the first one, that is Python programming in interactive mode. The instructions are executed line by line in the output. We have already seen the interactive mode. We'll see it further. But here the instructions, the commands that I type gets executed line by line. And I get the output immediately in the next line. The commands are typed next to the Python command prompt. This 3 greater than sign which comes on the IDLE when I'll be opening it up, that is the command prompt which we have seen in our previous class. So there you can start typing the Python commands. How to start this? We have to go to start button, all programs, Python 3.7, ideally Python 3.7. So let us click on start button. Then we'll go to all programs. Since this is Windows 10 operating system, you won't get all programs. I'll just directly find the Python 3.7 folder, in which I'll get ideally Python 3.7. So this is how the screen looks like. If you can see, this is the Python command prompt. So this is the interactive mode. How to start typing in interactive mode? Here, if I want to type a message, a text message, what I have to do is I have to open a single quote. I can type my message. I can write welcome to the world of Python. I'll close it with single quote and I'll press enter key. So whatever I type, I'll get an output. Say suppose I type a number 10, I'll get the output as the number 10. Say suppose I add two numbers, 10 plus 20, and I press enter key, I get the answer in the next line. So as you can see, the commands are getting executed line by line. It becomes very easy when you want to test the code, where you type one command and you see that whether you're getting an error immediately or not. See, if I write just directly, if I write welcome, it will show me an error because the syntax that I have written is missing. I have not put single quotes or anything like that. So it is showing me an error. Now, neither I am using any keywords like print. So it will give me an error. So it becomes very easy when we are working with interactive mode, because here you come to know your mistakes immediately in the next line. So that is about interactive mode. Moving on to the next one, we'll learn about use of interpreter. Now students, you are already aware about interpreter. Interpreter, what does interpreter do? It executes the command line by line. When you type a command next to the Python prompt, that is the 3 greater than signs which comes, and you press enter key, the interpreter converts the command into machine language. After processing, the interpreter again converts the machine code into human readable code and gives you the output, which we have seen recently in the interactive mode. So interactive mode works just like an interpreter. Moving on to the next, that is use of print function. Now let us see what is print function. The print function is used to display the output of any command on the screen. If I want the output on the screen, I'll use print function in Python. Python is case sensitive language, so it differentiates between small letters and capital letters. We have already seen the features of Python, that Python is a case sensitive language. If you write small letters or capital letters, it matters for Python language. This print and this print are two different commands. This small print, in which all the letters are written small, is the print keyword for Python, whereas this will not be accepted by Python since P is capital over here. And since Python is case sensitive language, it will show me a syntax error. So we'll just check it out. I'll open the Python window. Here say suppose I write capital print, and in the bracket I write say 10 plus 56. For that you will have to put them in single quotes. And I press enter key. See, it's showing me an error. Why? Because I wrote E capital. If the same thing I write in small letters, print, I'll open the round bracket, single quote, 10 plus 56. I close it with a single quote and press enter key. So it is showing me the message what I've written in this parenthesis of print command. So that is the use of print command. It is used to display any message or any output. Here it won't add the numbers since I've written it in single quotes. If I write it as print 10 plus 56 in single quotes, you need to use the round bracket compulsory, comma, if I write 10 plus 56, now this is going to add the number and it is going to show as, here I'll write is equal to, write print 10 plus 56 is equal to. This is the message that I want to display, and what I want to do is I want the answer for this 10 plus 56. In that case, I'll get the answer. 10 plus 56 is 66 with the help of print command. And as you can see, I have written all the letters in small, P-R-I-N-T. So Python is a case sensitive language and it differentiates between these two print commands. Moving on to the next one, using IDLE as a calculator. Recently, you have seen how I use the IDLE environment as an interpreter as well as a calculator. If I go to IDLE environment and I start typing numbers, say 10 plus 20, I get the answer 30. Say I divide or multiply to number 45 into 5, I get the answer. 12 divided by 6, I get the answer. So what does it do? It acts as a calculator as well. You can even perform complex functions like 10 plus 20 minus 5, right? So even if you want to use more than one operator to perform arithmetic calculations in the interactive mode, it can work as a calculator as well. Moving on to the next, that is variables in Python. What do you mean by variables? The storage location that store values are known as variables. They store different values within it, so they are termed as variables. They vary in their values. A variable can store only one data at a time. How variables are represented? The example of variable which I am going to show is, let us first see the features of variables. A variable can store only one data at a time. If you are writing a is equal to 10, here a is my variable and it can take the value 10 only and only once. When a new value is written in that same variable, it gets overwritten. Say I suppose write a is equal to 20, then 10 gets removed off and 20 is the new value of a. How? That we'll see further. Next, the assignment operator. Whenever we are working with variables, the one important thing that you need is an assignment operator. The assignment operator is by the sign is equal to. Values are assigned to the variables using assignment operator. See here I have assigned x is my variable is equal to, that is the assignment operator, and I'm giving the value to the x, that is 25. So 25 is the value that is given to x. More such examples, a is equal to 10. Here a is my variable and the value that I've given is 10. And how this value is given to it? With the help of the assignment operator. B is equal to 20. Again, the value of b will be 20. C is equal to a plus b. So now what it will do? It will add a, it will add b, and the answer which I get will be the value of c variable. So those are variables. Next, we are going to learn about how to write variables. There are a few rules, few norms which you need to follow while you are giving the variable names. The first one is a variable must always begin with an alphabet. You can write it capital as well as small. It does not matter, but it should always be an alphabet. I can't write 1A. No, it's wrong. I can write A1. Or you can even use underscore in the beginning. Whenever you start writing a variable, you can use underscore a. So that is a valid variable name. A variable name can consist alphabets, digits, and underscore. Only these three characters are allowed. None of the other characters are allowed. You can't use round bracket. You can't use operators. You can't use question mark sign. You can't use any other symbols other than alphabets, A to Z, digits 0 to 9. You can form up any digits, and underscore. A Python keyword cannot be used as a variable name. There are different keywords that are used generally in Python. Like we have print, we have input, we have if, we have elif, we have else. You'll study about them when we move further in the chapter. These are a few keywords that we use in Python, which cannot be used with variable. I cannot write print is equal to 10. Why? Because print is a Python keyword. A variable name can be of any length. Suppose I want to write an entire name, Shri Vallabh Sanskar Dham Srimati Shobhaben Pratabai Day Boarding School. इतना बड़ा भी मुझे अगर variable का नाम लिखना है, it is valid. The variable name can be of any length depending on the user. Variable names are also case sensitive. When you write variable names, even they are case sensitive. Like if you write capital AGE and small AGE, these two are different variable names for Python. So that is also taken into consideration. If variable name is not assigned a value, if suppose I write only and only X, it will not accept, because you need to compulsory give value to the variable. Say suppose I write over here print X. It will show me an error. Why? Because X is not having any value. So whenever you declare any variable, the variable should be having some or the other value. So here, coming to the end of this video, we'll continue this chapter in the next class. Still there is one more mode left, that is script mode. We'll discuss about them in our next class. Till that time, go through this video thoroughly and please put up your doubts in the Zoom class whenever we meet, or on Tenno in one-to-one. Thank you. Take care of yourself. Bye.